Alright, Hakuri. Time to see how this bag gets fumbled. What's up, guys? That guy with A. Pencil here, fun fact. I do mean to have it on me and keep it on me at all times. Another fun fact. Yeah. Come on, you know what time it is. It's Kagurabachi that time. Which, of course, means we're in for some juicy, delicious, scrumdiddlyumptious peak. So you know, I'm excited. So let's not waste any more time. Let's hop right into chapter 94. 94. My brain was struggling on that. I was like, what is that in Spanish? 94, the second arrow. And if you want to know if I could say the second arrow in Spanish, I can't because I don't know what arrow is in Spanish. What is arrow in Spanish? Flecha. I'm assuming with an A, it's feminine. La flecha secundaria. La flecha secundaria? Secundaria, because it wouldn't be secundario, that would be masculine. So, la flecha. I don't know chapters. We're having it. Let's. We have the little man again. I see. That's the thing. I lean forward, and then my half my face is. I gotta figure this out. I'm gonna get the mic. Get the mic nice, real, and close to you, boys, so I can at least stay in frame as I read. Let's see. From what you've told us, in order to transport something to the warehouse, you have to register it by channeling spirit energy into it. The seal was already broken when the Shinuchi was put up for auction at the Rakuzachi. That's interesting. Well, I guess, no, that makes sense, right? Because ultimately, the Shaku broke the seals on all the blades, right? That's the thing. They broke the seals on all of them. They have a lot of them. In fact, now I think about it, who's guarding? I guess maybe Yor just hid them somewhere. Because now we do currently know the whereabouts of every single... We do, right? Yeah, we know the whereabouts of every single Hishaku member. But we actually don't know the whereabouts of the last... Let's see. We know the whereabouts of Kumiyuri. That's with Samura still, presumably. We know Tobimune's with Samura. We know Cloud God is broken, so that's 3. And we know the Shinuchi's here, so that's 4. Do we know where the last 2 Enchanted Blades are? Did Yor just leave them somewhere? I'm guessing he had to, because they never recovered those. So I guess there's probably like just a Hishaku storehouse somewhere with the last 2 Enchanted Blades. But I believe it was confirmed that all the seals in the Enchanted Blades were broken. Because all of them were sealed up. They were all in these boxes with the seals wrapped around them. And then, you know, they broke into Kunishige's house, slaughtered them, and took the swords. So, like, I didn't think about that. Huh. The seal was already broken. But, yeah, they have to do that. So, it makes sense. But they resealed it, right? The seal was already broken when the Shinuchi was put up for auction at the Rakuzachi, which means Kyoto Sazanami poured spirit energy into the Shinuchi early on, when the seal had just been broken. In other words, channeling spirit energy into it alone wasn't enough. Oh no, isn't enough. To activate the Shinuchi's powers, you need a strong desire to use the sword. Interesting. So... okay. So I'm guessing what they mean here. I'm trying to figure out why he's explaining this to Haku. Oh, well, it makes sense that he's explaining it, because Hakuri's going to do the same thing in order to register it so he can transport it to the storehouse. So that makes sense. So essentially, Kiora in particular did it twice. He once did it in order to presumably seal it in the storehouse in the first place, and he did it again this time in actually order to wield it. That's very interesting, though. So... But that's extra interesting, because that seems unique. I don't think someone could just pick up Tobimune while someone was still contracted to it, really want to use it, and then spontaneously be able to use Crow, Suzaku, and Owl. The Shinuchi is special in a bunch of ways then, because the fact that someone can, especially it's like a will thing, once again going to the idea that the blades are more so alive than we think, which means that Cloud Gouger's actually dead, which is weird to think about. Like, it's not just like a broken sword. It may have actually been like a living creature somewhat, very much like... I finally put all my Keyblades up, so I don't actually have one lying around anymore. I have Ultimate Weapon here, I have 2 Become 1 there, I have my Good Kingdom Key, Oblivion, Oathkeeper, Gazing Eye, or No Name. I like to call it No Name, even though technically I know it's called Gazing Eye. And then I have my Kingdom Key D over there, my Good Kingdom Key D. Then I have my Bad Kingdom Key D and my Bad Kingdom Key regular over there, posted up, so I can't grab any of them. But essentially, the Enchanted Blades are much more like Keyblades, right? Where they're applied to literally be alive in some sense and have like a willingness or ability to react, which is interesting. But once again, that may just be a Shinuchi thing, because it sounds like essentially what the old guy is describing here, because I don't remember his name. What the old guy is describing here is the idea of like, hey, you know, you can do things like this, you can channel it safely without having to worry about it, because in order to even activate its abilities, you need to want to use it. But like I said, that seems to be unique to the Shinuchi. But then again, we haven't actually seen, because of how the Hishaku planned everything out, and very specifically ended up going with the execution of Uruha, we haven't seen any other Enchanted Blades attempt to be used by force. Misaka, I think it's Misaka, Natsuki's brother, essentially, the wielder of Cloud Gouger, they lost their life, and obviously Uruha lost their life before either of the people who wielded their Enchanted Blades got their hands on them. Before Sojo wielded Cloud Gouger, Misaka was already, or I keep saying Misaka. Is it Misaka? Whatever. Regardless, Natsuki's brother was already dead. Same thing with Uruha temporarily, or at least he was dead and then resurrected, but the contract was broken. And then he was able to wield Kumayuri. So it's interesting that the Shinuchi is the only blade, of course it acts as the foundation, it's a very special and most powerful blade, it's unique in a bunch of ways, but it's interesting if another unique factor isn't just the true realm it has, but the ability for people to essentially appeal to it, essentially being like, I really, 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 really want to use you. And then the blade's like, you know, I already have this thing going with another guy. You seem real desperate. Come here. And then they let him use it. Let's see. You need a strong desire to use the sword. Which means, by channeling spirit energy into it beforehand, I'm gonna use it! I don't know why I keep thinking that way. Let's see. It should be possible to activate its powers while the Shinuchi is here at Kamunabi HQ. What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? Wait a minute, hold on, what do you mean by that? So wait, but I thought, then again though, but then why doesn't the Sword Saint just activate it, right? I guess maybe the sealing of it negated any of the Sword Saint's energy that was put into it, but it's still contracted to him. I'm assuming there's like some spirit energy tied there. Why can't he just use its abilities, like start the malediction from himself? But then again, it spawns at the Shinuchi? That's actually kind of weird. Alright, interesting. It should be possible to activate its powers while the Shinuchi is here at Kamunabi HQ. That's how it's done? Right, but its powers can only be used for a limited time. And there's a price. The Swordmaster quickly worms his way into you. So sorry. I should have made that joke. But the Swordmaster quickly worms his way into your guts, hijacking you from within. The activator loses their sense of self, and it's all over for them. Like what happened to Kyoto Sazanami at the Rock Bazaar. You're talking to his kid. I know he didn't have the best relationship with his dad. He actually had a pretty bad one. But, like, you're talking to his kid. You don't have to keep saying Kyoto Sazanami, your father, your daddy, the person who birthed you. Well, not literally. We never got to see their mothers. We never got to see anyone. Who is Chihiro's mom? We don't know. We got to meet Yori's mom when she died. Hold on. In fact, does she... Well, actually, I think we didn't... Did we meet Hakuri's mother? I think she just didn't have much of an opinion. Like, she didn't just have much of a role to play, if I'm remembering. Or maybe I'm just... I need to reread Kagurabachi. It's been a little bit. Does Chihiro have a mother? I mean, like, obviously he does, but, like... Is Chihiro's mother... does that sound real? Yeah, no. So the AI answer was just a random whatever answer. Yeah, there's no confirmed mother to Chihiro, at least not yet. So like, where is she? Did she not? I mean, I don't know. Once again, feel free to correct me. And once again, I love my Kagurabachi lore heads correcting the dumb, stupid old pencil man who needs to reread Kagurabachi because he forgets. Did we ever see? But the thing is, I know Jules is going to give me a random answer. Did we ever see Hakuri's mom? Was she ever mentioned? I feel like she was mentioned, but she wasn't allowed to do anything. But I may be conflating that with another story that's very similar to Hakuri's. It's like, I actually don't know if we ever met her, but clearly I don't think it's that important. But, let's see. That's interesting, though. Can they do it remotely? Oh, that's what he... So, wait, that doesn't even... But, that's weird. So, you can put your spirit energy into the blade. And then remotely use its power. But I guess it kind of makes sense. But no, it does. Well, once again, I guess that's just another way the Shinuchi is unique. Because, notably, we've seen both Chihiro and Samura summon their blades to them, right? Like they're simply, and then the blades will appear. So technically, they're using... Actually, I guess logistically, it does make a form of sense. Because that's also technically using the blade's power remotely, right? Like, Samura can summon Tobimune to himself. Huh. Even then, that had a limit, right? Like, he couldn't summon Tobimune until Hakuri brought it to him. Right? Am I see, now I'm forgetting if I'm misremembering stuff. Because I know we've seen Samura and Chihiro both summon the blades to themselves when they're disconnected from them. We know Samura does it through teleportation, and Chihiro mimicked that teleportation. So, like, I guess this does make sense. But I guess this is implying like you can be completely separate from the blade and then still use its powers, which obviously is like some sort of setup. Someone put something in the sword and they're going to activate it. Probably like if not this chapter, probably this chapter, probably another chapter. So maybe Haku won't do anything wrong, but maybe someone else will do something. I'm assuming it's one of these Shaku members. But then again, Yor himself won't do it with the Shinuchi. So like, did he put his spirit energy in there? Is that why he doesn't have sword? But no, it doesn't say. I don't think it overrides your base sorcery. Kiori didn't lose his base sorcery. So like, hypothetically, could someone stack the Shinuchi powers on top of their base sorcery if they really wanted to? Well, actually, no. We'll see. Let's see. That, like what happened with Kiora Sazanami at the Rakuzachi. As a strategy, it's a double-edged sword with a razor-sharp edge. For that reason, we concluded that it was unlikely someone would attempt that approach, but just in case, we investigated the blade. Well, here's the thing about attempting that approach. It's a good, at least from the way it's described here, it's not an instantaneous process, right? Like, you can do both. You can imbue your spirit energy and then stop. But your spirit energy is still going to be there. It's still just going to be left in there. So, at any moment, if you need a Shinuchi boost, right? Like so you can demand. But I guess the reason they're like he's bringing this up, but it'll be okay, is because the sword is sealed again, and I doubt like it's kind of like essentially turning off a Wi-Fi router. I'm guessing, right? So like, say you connect to the Wi-Fi router, you imbue your spirit energy into the Shinuchi. Cool, great, fantastic. As long as it's unsealed, you can then by proxy activate your abilities because you're connected to the Wi-Fi at all times. But if someone were to block and or just turn off the router, aka sealing it, or put the router in like a Faraday cage, even though you've already met the conditions to connect to the router, you've already put your spirit energy in the Shinuchi, you can't do anything about that. So I guess technically it is safe. But are they going to have to unseal it for Hakuya to put his spirit energy into it? And is that going to sort of like essentially take the Faraday cage out, or turn the Wi-Fi back on, and or take the Faraday cage off the Wi-Fi router, and thusly give access to whoever, probably Yura, because he's the one who wanted to wield the Shinuchi, access to do that? Because it feels so specific that we're acknowledging this now. Initially, I thought the only reason that Kiora could do this was because he was actually holding the darn thing. But no, it seems like this is just a remote activation kind of thing as well, which is weird. I feel like that should have been... I mean, notably, with what I mentioned about the Samura and Shiro stuff, I think that is the foreshadowing to this, right? Like the idea of, hey, just so you know, because the Shinuchi's super special, you know that thing that other Enchanted Blades wield, and Sojo does it too, with Cloud Gouger. He summons Cloud Gouger back to himself, even when he's not wielding it. So, like, multiple Enchanted Blades, 3 of the 4 we've seen, 4? 3 of the 5 we've seen so far, all have ways to make their way back to their master. Whether it be Enten's copying abilities of Tomimune's abilities, or whether it be literally Cloud Gouger flying through the sky back into Sojo's hands. So, like, I guess there's another case of the powers are technically always connected to you, even if you aren't contracted. I'm guessing that's the unique aspect of the Shinuchi. Let's see. As a strategy, it's a double-edged sword. I gotta lean up. As a strategy, it's a double-edged sword with a razor-sharp edge. For that reason, we concluded it was... Wait a second. I'm stupid. I'm oopid. Just as I have a booster chair, which I do need to fix. Why am I so low? It's not working. It's not working. Why am I so low? Get me out. But I'm sitting here looking at this thing. I own books. I can just put the mic on top of other stuff. Hold on. 1. I need another book. Take a book in a book. A smaller book, preferably. I don't want to work. Actually, I need a book. I have something a little bit more convenient than a Bucky Wucky. Hold on. Let me take this. And then, this should be enough. This will be right up. And I don't have to keep leaning down in order to read into the microphone. Oop, that puts the microphone in camera. Sorry if that sounded weird. This also looked weird. Hold on, let me see. This will be very temporary until we actually figure out like a better place for this. I should just use, I have a little mic thing they could do, but I actually like having the stand because it's more convenient and I don't have to screw anything into my desk. Let's see. For that reason, we concluded it was unlikely someone would attempt that approach, but just in case, we investigated the blade. We confirmed it hadn't been charged with anyone's spirit energy. Oh, okay, so no one has done it. That seems weird, though. Why would they not? I mean, like, once again, because it's a backup plan, why would you not do that? Like, even if it's not your himself, like, why would he not have any random Mishaku member be like, hey, just in case? It's essentially, like, obviously, actually, I think about it, it's very similar to the Death Seki, except you're gonna go band for band with the Sword Bearer, or the Sword Saint, instead of, like, just your body breaking down. if anything, I'd have a whole bunch of people, like, just in case, since the Shinuchi just doesn't care about its initial contract as long as you barter with it. I'd have every single Shaco member be like, hey, pour a little in there. Just a little, just enough. Just enough. Channel your spirit energy. And just in case you're about to get dipped in your base source rate doing enough, slide that in there. Get up in its guts. And then chill on it. And then see what happens. But then again, that to me as a super paranoid leader, you're likely at a different plan. Let's see. We confirmed it hadn't been charged with anyone's spirit energy. After that, we resealed the... Oh, so the Wi-Fi router's already off. Let's see. Like last time, it was me, Kaisen, and Yatsuru who did it. Or Kasen? Or Kaisen? I think it's Kasen. Kasen and Yatsuru who did it. Those names mean nothing to me. Oh, there we go. Right at the bottom. I remember this guy because he has the balls. I remember Ball Guy. I do not remember Yatsuru. Let's see. And Yatsuru who did it. Apart from the Hiyuki and Tafuku? There we go. Apart from Hiyuki and Tafuku, ever since the Rakuzachi, only 3 of us have come in contact with it. Okay, so one of them's a traitor, right? Like we've seen almost every level of traitorhood. We've seen captains or like elite squad captains be traitors. We've seen random grunts be traitors. So one of these 3 is a traitor. I wonder, yo, how crazy would it be if this guy, he's like explaining everything, he's like, OBT dubs, I'm actually evil. I'm actually the evilest guy ever evil. Let's see. Huh. There are 3... But Hakuri's just like me. He's like, those names mean nothing. I have no idea who those are. Let's see. They're the 3 sorcerers you saw wearing white robes. The one in the middle was the Kamunabi's leader. Ah, okay. It's probably Yatsuru. It's probably Yatsuru. I mean, like, unless it's one of these. It can't be the leader. It can't be the leader. Because that'd be like, if that's the case, why not just collapse everything from the inside? I guess technically maybe he did. Maybe, I don't know. If I had a hazard to guess of these 3, it can't be the leader. It's probably one of these 2. But considering Yatsuru is a character no one cares about, and this guy doesn't have as fire a design as this guy with the balls, I highly doubt it's him. Let's see. The one in the middle was the Kamunabi's leader. On both sides were his assistants. They are also the most powerful sorcerers of the Kamunabi. I guess that makes sense. So interesting. Sukuna would like this play. Because the hierarchy run by power. And not only anything, but the whole organization is run by power, right? Because the lieutenants and like the higher level, people who are higher level in the organization were former like war participants. So they all had battle experience and a whole bunch of like magical force energy. So I guess it makes sense. Well, let's see. Oh, wrong thing. I did not mean to click that. Go ahead, load. Yes, I can immediately X you out. Let's see. They're also the most powerful sorcerers of the Kamunabi. Hey, but Mr. Kudo said that you're on another level, Azami-san. Almost on the level of... Well, no, literally, Azami's been stated equal to Shiba. We have never seen Shiba go. I'm telling you, like, we need a Shiba master. In fact, where is he? Has no one notified him? It is Shiba, right? It is Shiba. Gosh darn, because he disappears for so long, I don't actually remember. Shiba, it's Togo Shiba, right? Togo Shiba? Togo Shiba? Togo Shiba? Yeah, Togo Shiba. Like, dog, has no one informed him? He can teleport. He has no reason to not be here and help it out. I was like, hey, but Mr. Kudo said Azami's on another level. Oh? He's like, are you questioning my swagger right now? What do you mean? Let's see. He probably meant I love how Azami's sweating. He's like, hey, boss, I ain't say that. Kudo said that. That's not me, boss. Don't cut my checks. Let's see. He probably meant it as a fighter. Physically, I'm a bit younger than the others. Ah, okay. Okay, so he's just like more physically capable, but magic potency wise and sorcery wise, they're a level above him. All right, but as sorcerers, they're giants compared to me. Apart from the innate sorcery I was born with, things like barriers and sealing spells are the realm of scholars. Okay, so that makes sense because those are more general, right? So essentially, Azami is a really powerful, really highly skilled, really lucky one trick. Not really lucky, but like, you could argue he could have better magic or better sorcery. But he's a really good one trick. But you ask him to branch out, and it's like, It's like he's a specialist, right? He specializes in combat, and that's what his abilities are spec'd for and he's built for. Meanwhile, it seems like the top 3 sorcerers of the Kamunabi, Yatsuru, Kasen, and whatever this guy is. But, whatever, like I said, I don't know his name. But they are likely just better all around. They have all the information, which is interesting. So I guess technically a group like the Masumi would be comparable to Azami solely because they have a wider breadth of information and a wider flexibility. Because remember, they made the seal that made everyone forget Iori was Summoner's daughter. So it's possible. Oh, that's what Mr. Kudo said. He said the Masumi had memorized all those books on library level 2. Yeah, which is still crazy. Oh, Those 3 in white robes have about twice as much of that. What? What? Okay. Me too, Hakuri. Well, I'm not throwing up, but unreal is accurate. I'm not sure if it's Hakuri or Kiryu who said that, but yeah, that is kind of unreal. But at least the little guy says that's an exaggeration. So, but still, very, very impressive having twice as much as that, or even on the same level, and presumably with just like higher magical potency. If I had to guess, I don't think like the mobs to me have shown to be pretty powerful, but I don't think they'd probably be on the level of the leaders of the Kamunabi if they're subservient to them. Especially since this organization does seem like one heavily based on power. Let's see. The shock. Wait, I missed that. Double skip a page? No, I didn't. The Shaku's recklessness only makes wait. The Shaku's recklessness only makes sense if they have a powerful ace up their sleeve, and that ace was Samura technically. So I wonder, like, what is the like? It has to be. It has to. But the thing is, they just said that Shinuchi couldn't have anything in it. So like I said, one of the leaders has to be a traitor or something, because if not that, they don't have any like trump card now. With Samura being gone, and in fact on the way here, like as of 10 chapters ago. And shout out, yo, I will give this to Hokuzono Sensei. Hokuzono Sensei heard everyone complaining about Kagurabachi being the Chihiro show, and then removed Chihiro for like the past 10 chapters. We have not seen that boy in a minute. It's like been multiple real life months since we've even seen a panel of Chihiro. So I was like, oh, you're sick and tired of me showing the same character over and over again? Fine, no character for you. And hey, I respect it. You know, me, I love me a big broader cast that actually does things. So I'm taking it. Let's see. Only makes sense if it makes sense only if they have a powerful ace up their sleeve. My worry is that one of the 3 of us could be colluding with it. That's a little heavy-handed, man. Are you I mean, like, it's not like it's ever been done before, but that would be a pretty gangster move when Hokuzono Sensei be like, let's have the traitor explain why they're probably the traitor. I feel like it has to be him or the woman. Like, the leader would be a crazy twist, though. What is Hokuzono Sensei feeling like? How diffuse are they feeling? Let's see. Huh? One of the white robes could have altered the Shinuchi seal, weakening it in the midst of the chaos, for example. Or we could have given one of the disposable pawns. Or we could have given it to one of the disposable pawns within the Kamunabi. Given the seal or given the Shinuchi? What does that mean? Let's see. Or it's possible that the Ishaku are simply being not possible. Not like I don't know, man. He flipped a coin and everything though. He was real confident. I don't think it's reckless. I think they may just know ball. I think they may just know ball and you'll know what the ball is. Or what you do, Mr. Not Traitor Man. We'll see. Let's see. I've known them both for many years. I need to prove myself that my suspicions are unfounded. Okay. But I mean, this would be... But the thing is, though, if he is the traitor, it wouldn't really make sense for him to be explaining all this. I'm sorry, I forgot to mute the mic. But it wouldn't really make sense for him to be explaining all this, right? Because, like, why would he give game? So it has to be Yatsuru, right? Let's see. I've known them both for many years. I need to prove to myself that my suspicions are unfounded. All right. Oh, and here we are. All right. But, the blade is unsealed. So that's the thing. They sealed it, but then they unsealed it again. Unless this is meant to represent some form of seal, right? Because the bandages are still technically around it. Technically, it is unsealed again. So the Wi-Fi router, going with my early analogy, the Wi-Fi router is on. So, but no one imbued any spirit energy into it. Or at least they didn't say that anyone imbued spirit into it. So we'll see. Ding. Here we are. Maybe the leader is the traitor. What are you doing here, buddy? Where's Yatsuru? Is Yatsuru here as well, or is it just Ballman? Ballman? I don't even remember your name. What's his name? Kasen? Ballman. I was called him Ballman the Kasen. Kasen the Ballman. Leader guy. Are you like just the way we're moving? I don't see Yatsuru. Let's see. Hakuri? Masked up. But I am worried for the boy. He has the cracks in his mask still. That's worrying. Let's see. He's even sweating. I think it may actually be this guy. Hold on. Is it actually the leader? Oh, Ichiki. Oh, wait. Someone pointed out a pretty important thing. Yeah, where on earth is Oni-chan? Seeing Ichiki, which I guess is the little guy's name, seeing Ichiki reminded me, where is Oni-chan? Like, the gargantuan blade that Cutie carries? did she just shove it in the hammer space? Can she summon it back to herself too? Like, where is it? Because it's not here. It actually isn't visible in any of these panels when it really should be. But I don't know. Maybe just Hokuto since they forgot. But that is actually a pretty weird thing because they made such a point on how big it is, but then it just completely vanishes. And it doesn't. And they didn't like imply that it got broken or was stolen during the battle with Hokuto. So like, she should still have it, but it looks like they just didn't want to draw it or just forgot. Let's see. Kasen, Ichiki, or yeah, Ichiki, yeah, Ichiki. Interesting. So the blade. Well, see, the thing is, it looked unsealed here, but maybe it is still sealed, or at least partially unsealed, because it's completely wrapped in bandages here. It's fine. The seal is intact. Okay, so the seal is intact. Okay, so the Wi-Fi router is still off then. Never mind. Was I overthinking it? Hakuri Sazanami, you made it. As planned, he will now transport the Shinuchi to the warehouse, where nobody can get to it. The Ishaku have no chance of taking down Kamunabi headquarters. I mean, if one of the leaders is compromised, possibly including the leader himself, what are you doing? Where is Yatsuru? That's my main question. Where is Yatsuru? Why is only the leader here? Is she out fighting too? What's happening? No. Okay, so he's the traitor. Yeah. So okay. So I was real. Guys, don't see. Okay, but notably, if I had one critique, and this is just the nature of Kagurabachi as an extremely fast-paced series. I don't feel much of anything knowing that, right? Like, now knowing the leader of the Kamunabi was a traitor, that's cool, that's interesting. I want to know why he was. Like, I wonder what beef or info or whatever that Yura had on him. Kind of in the same way that Yura had information on Samura and like the battle. Well, maybe it is once again just having to do with like the war. Maybe some guilt about that. I wonder if it's like an active choice to work with the Kamunabi, if it's a guilt-ridden choice. Like, what is the reason behind Kasen's betrayal here? But the fact that he says no to the Kamunabi won't be able to, where nobody can get to it, he says no. So like, obviously he's the traitor, man. But I don't know this character. I don't care about this character. This character's had like 2 previous appearances to the point where I don't remember his name, and I just remember he has balls on his head and on his beard. Which admittedly, he has a fire design, but like, I don't know at all how I'm supposed to like feel about this outside of, oh, I guess we know the traitor was literally the leader of the organization. Kind of crazy. That does make me wonder. Well, I guess it does make sense that the leader would be the traitor, because then he would be able to plant all these, like, if not plant, override any suspicion of all the people who also were under coercion by the Ishaku. Essentially, he could like fudge records and do stuff like that since he is the leader. But let's see. But the question is, will Hakuri be able to? But if it is, I guess maybe the seal is messed up. I wonder what he did, because if they didn't sense any spirit energy in it, regardless, then they still sealed it anyway, and that was all 3 of them working to seal together, then shouldn't the Wi-Fi router still be off? No one should be able to access it if they did pour spirit energy into it in the first place, because the spirit energy isn't there. I don't know. We'll see. Oh, but we're back in the 4v1 or the 4v or the 1v1v1v1, the 1v1v1v1. There we go. Let's see. Okay, Natsuki going after Hokuto still. Oh, he's so clean with it. Yo, the amount of people who I've seen glaze Natsuki to the moon and back. Valid. Like I was about to make a joke about like, y'all are meat riding rad crazy for a character who didn't even exist 6 chapters ago. But I'll admit, he's got a fire design. He's got lightning powers. He reminds me of the Cloud Gouger user Sojo. Like I see y'all vision. I'm not leading with it, rocking with it entirely, but if there is a vision, if I can open my eyeballs, there is a vision that I'm seeing why y'all love. Or not even just y'all, like in my own comments, but just like in general, I see so much Natsuki love. Like, he is one of the fan favorite characters of the series already. But then again, same thing with Hokuto, who existed prior to 6 or 7 chapters ago, but just wasn't as fleshed out of a character. He's also a fan favorite. He's also one of my favorites. So I can't even say that Hokuto Sensei is doing a fit or like doing a horrible job of introducing these characters and making them lovable instantly. Nah, these 2 characters who are now interacting, and well, interacting is a strong word, gosh darn it, because it looks like Natsuki has the complete edge here, as Hokuto still hasn't even regenerated a hand, seemingly. These 2 characters are now fan favorites, and I admit I like them both. Though, admittedly, I like Natsuki more for the dynamic he feeds into Uruha, funnily enough, but I like Hokuto on his own. Hokuto's just a fantastic character. I love him. And I love his archetype. Let's see. Boom! Alright, golly. But he did block it again, so... But he is using sorcery. So I guess they truly have leveled up and everything. So, the duel is over, huh? What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? Y'all still in the midst of the duel? What happened? We last ended with y'all being locked in. What happened? Oh! Oh, that's what happened. Wait, but what did Ura slash here? I actually can't even tell. If anything, it looks like he whiffed. Right? Am I tweaking? It doesn't look like he landed a hit here. Because this gash is from when Ura slashed him in the stomach earlier. Let's see. But look at Ura. But yep. He's presumably amping his... Oh, I get what was slashed. I'm a little bit stupid. He sliced the sword in half. That'll do it. That'll do it. Ura wait a second. That's why I'm an idiot. I was wondering, why am I so low on my chair? One, I just do need to get a new chair. The chair's very, very old. Like, it's literally torn and I'm gonna have to get a new chair. I don't want to keep replacing it. But I've already upgraded everything else. I got a new light. I got a new camera. I think it is time for a new chair. This chair is old as dirt. Like, it is like over half a decade old at this point, and it is chafing and breaking and all that. Y'all got any recommendations for chairs? Hopefully ones that don't make too much noise and can fit a guy my size. For reference, I'm like 6'1", 230, so like I'm a big guy, so it needs to be like a decent quality chair of decent size. But let me know, because I probably will end up getting a new chair kind of soon. It's done a good job, but maybe it needs to be replaced too. But I'm an idiot. back to what I was saying. I'm an idiot because Uruha clearly places the sword in half here, presumably using a stat amp, whether it be a strength amp or a speed amp. He slashes the sword here. His fingers are still missing, so he did this with one arm, which is actually impressive. But still, he slashes the sword in half. So now Ura is technically defenseless, even though we've seen characters use just like the hilt plus a tiny bit of the blade sword to still be lethal. Obviously, Ura, who already doesn't have the best sword. There we go. Ura, who already doesn't have the best swordsmanship, probably won't do good against a master swordsman who's using sorcery, while Ura himself isn't using sorcery, while he doesn't have a sword. Yeah, pretty rough thing. Let's see. And they're both going full throttle with their sorcery. They want to kill us as quickly as possible. Which they should have been doing from the start, but as Ura had mentioned, haven't fought in a while. And that's like he was, but he just wasn't good enough. Let's see. They want to kill us as quickly as possible. Uraha, the trump card somewhere left behind. Neither of them is giving up the... I never heard of that. I heard of giving up the ghost. I've never heard of giving up the ghost. Interesting. Neither of them is giving up the ghost easily. And we can't discount the outcome in Kyoto. Oh, so I guess... Does he know? Did someone report to him? Because I'm assuming the outcome in Kyoto, he means like, losing Kumayuri and losing Hirohiko. Or, well, technically Hirohiko's alive and all, but like losing Hirohiko as a viable combatant. And obviously Kuguri burnt his, like, what is it, Twilight Wave or whatever? That heat thing that he does, he burnt that. It's like, Kuguri's just a regular swordsman now who already admitted, I ain't comp with these enchanted blade wielders, dog. Like, I'm not doing that. He's very different from Hokuto, where he's also a skilled sword wielder. He loves swords, but he also knows ball, where he's like, I can't compete. So, interesting. Maybe someone told Ura. I guess Toto may have teleported in and been like, hey, they low-key kind of whooped us, but let's see. We can't discount the outcome in Kyoto. Hokuto, the fun and games are over. Okay. So that's how. So maybe it was the breaking of the sword, because I didn't sound like you were saying any of these things out loud. So be it. Did he just? Your Honor, flag on the play. Did he just blitz Uraha and Natsuki? The two speedsters? One a lightning user and the other one who amps his stats for speed specifically, and his entire fighting style is based around stats? Or like speed stat? In the Yaiwai Purity style? Did he just blitz both of... So wait. There's only one way you could do this, right? Hold on a second. Oh! The blitz of doom, despair, and everything unfair. How does that even move? How did he do that? He got both of them, but they weren't even close enough to do that. Your wingspan is not... Oh, well, actually. So he blitzed, but they did actually get a little bit closer here. You can tell, it seems that they're, like, look at the distance between here and here. Like, I wish I could, like, measure it. Like, somehow, but I only have my router here on the screen. But, like, I'm not doing all that. But look at this distance between here and here. And then look at their... Oh! at least the zoom in makes it look small. I'm pretty sure these are just the same drawings. Like, I'm pretty sure Hokuzono Sensei literally, like, copied. No, there's slight differences. Maybe it's a slight difference in angle? No. It looks like mostly the same drawing. In fact, I'm pretty sure, funnily enough, looking at it, this, like, from the blade here, from the blade in hand down, it is the same drawing. But the arm was redrawn here. That's interesting. Natsuki's arm was redrawn here. You can tell by the line work being slightly different. Oh, actually, no. No. Nope, these are actually just wholly the same drawing. It's just that what Hokuzono Sensei likely did, copy pasted it, lifted it, pulled it forward a little bit, or like made it just a little bit bigger and tilted it. Not that way, like tilted it a little bit more. I can tell that just by how the arm is positioned. But then again, the arm, no, this is at least a slight redraw. Now I'm looking at it again, because look at this here. Look at the gap between his two hands here, and then look at the gap between his two hands here. They're slightly different drawings, even though the blood spot is the same, the arm line is the same. So yeah, at least the arm is different. The rest of the drawing may be the exact same. While Uraha's drawing is literally just the same. Like, it is the exact same drawing verbatim, just zoomed in on. You can tell by the fingers. Well, actually, once again, no. The hand is so Hokuzono Sensei is doing good. Whenever I try to look at it and be like, I caught you, you're reusing art, it actually is slightly different. You can tell by how the sword is drawn here. It's slightly off. It looks like the hand may be the exact same, but even then, no, it's not, because like that singular line there looks slightly different. But even then, that may be the cutoff point of the finger. So maybe the hand is the exact same, but like just how Natsuki's arm looks like redrawn here, it also looks like Uraha's grip on his blade is redrawn here, because look at the different angle. Like this is one angle, this is another angle, but notably the base Ura drawing itself is redrawn. So very impressive. I like it, Hokuzono Sensei. I love it when mangaka reuse art but then alter just a little bit, so people like me, insane people who are always looking a little bit too deep, are like, you almost got me, buddy. You almost got me. I was gonna be like, reuse of art. And no shit, I don't think it's a bad thing, by the way. I think it's actually smart to reuse art. You release manga weekly, reuse as much art as you can, but well, not as much art. Don't be like the One Piece anime. Some episodes which just like spend half the episode recapping the previous. Don't do that. But interesting. The Blitz of Doom, Despair, Everything Unfair. They got a little bit closer, so I guess maybe that makes sense. But yours straight said, "Let me get a grit." He said, "Let me get some neck." Except I'm not asking. Darn! And just talk on. But you know what? Credit to both of them. Well, obviously Natsuki let go of one sword, but credit to both of them for not letting go of their blades. They legit got speed blitz to oblivion, but Natsuki only let loose one blade. So I guess Natsuki, shock horror, Natsuki is left-handed, because only his left hand. Well, actually, that may have been part of the mix-up. Maybe he was trying to throw the left blade. Maybe, but it looks like he may just lost grip on this. He's probably right-handed by nature, but he's obviously ambidextrous to a degree. Probably trained ambidextrous, but right-handed by nature, because he doesn't let go of his sword, and Ura doesn't let go of their sword when they both get blitzed to oblivion. But I'm guessing this is the Shinuchi, or is this yours to sorcery? Unless him showing the eyes that were similar to the Sword Saint were meant to already tell us that he has the Shinuchi hand. I don't know, we'll see. What? His movement is suddenly... His strength also suddenly skyrocketed. Okay, let's see. Up. But yeah, so essentially, that was what the step of the chapter was for. I'll give Hokuzono Sensei credit. If I didn't know them better, or if I didn't understand the series to the degree I do, and I don't say I know the best, I've been corrected many times by my beautiful, amazing, legendary Kagurabachi lore heads in the comments. Keep correcting me. Your boy will keep making mistakes, because unfortunately, I'm imperfect. Very. But with that being the case, what I like is that Hokuzono Sensei built the idea of the, like that's the thing. Ultimately, Cure now is a retroactive foreshadowing piece to this use of it by Yura, right? Like that's obviously what this is. And also retroactively, every single time we've seen a sword bearer access their blade or their abilities remotely was also a build to this moment. And the flashes of Yura's eyes going black was built to the moment. It's like all these different pathways of build up that like with the enchanted blade, Yura himself, and this scenario, they all build up to this culmination moment where we get this satisfying reveal of Yura actually technically kind of already wielding the Shinuchi without being contracted to it. So the idea that he was the Shinuchi, like given physical form, trying to reunite his master, different. And the idea that he may have ties to the Sword Saint, still not entirely impossible. We'll see. Let's see. What? But the seal was intact. How? It's pouring out from within the seal. Impossible. Oh, so that's interesting. So that's like if the Wi-Fi router could punch a hole in the Faraday cage. Okay, because I was using the Wi-Fi router like a Faraday cage and connecting to an analogy earlier. So I guess it's technically like if the Wi-Fi router suddenly had a gun and just shot away out the Faraday cage. Alright, darn. Pouring out from within the seal. Impossible. In other words, it was compromised before the seal? How could I have overlooked that? Cause the leader, man. I get. Okay, so, but that's interesting. I'm shocked that, so he must have, so I wonder how that works. Maybe they were all given different parts of the blade to overlook and seal. Maybe one was to seal the hilt, one was to seal the guard, one was to seal the blade itself. Because how do you not notice that? Like, if you were all doing the seal together and you were all scanning for it, what, did the leader just say, yeah, there's no spirit energy in there, and you listened? You didn't double check, but then again, they had no worry about a traitor at that point, I don't believe, at least. But no, I think they did. They had to worry about a traitor at the point by the time they were redoing the seal. So yeah, how did you not notice this? How is this not more on your radar that, you know, it may be entirely possible that, someone still imbued it. So I guess they just listened. Ichiki, you failed the vibe check, bro. You failed the vibe check, but Kasen passed, clearly. No. If someone knew at the time that it had been charged with spirit energy, someone who was capable of covering it. Oh, but how did he do that? How did he hide spirit? Like, I think it's such a unique signature. Maybe because the Shinuchi itself is so powerful that, like, as long as someone, like, maybe as long as you're not looking for it super duper hard. Why would they not be looking for it super duper hard? I want to know how Kasen was able to do it, how he was able to hide it. Because that seems like such a strange thing. How could you not, especially, I'd assume, call me crazy, and look to the left, look to the right, do a little shimmy, tell me my sight. I was trying to bar. I can't rap. But I'm assuming, just maybe, that Yura has very powerful level, or very powerful and very potent spirit energy. So none of you noticed it? Not a sick, or like, I just want to know how Kasen was able to hide it. That seems like such a big thing. But, alright, that's clearly it. I don't believe it. But that tactic could. And there it is. There's the reveal. I charged the Shinuchi with my spirit energy right before we submitted it to the Rakuzachi auction. The point of the Rakuzachi was to find out who had command of the Shinuchi, whether or not we could seize temporary control. It would be useless to wield if we were to be instantly hijacked. But, okay, so that's interesting. Well, actually, no, it makes sense, because he said point was to find out who had the command of the Shinuchi and whether or not we could seize temporary control. So, temporary control. So, ultimately, this does an important thing. Which definitely does kind of make it less, well, no, it makes it more interesting, because I'm thinking we could actually get the three-way antagonist dynamic. Because ultimately, even with this reveal, this does do something important. It desyncs the Sword Saint and the Ishaku. Because I'll admit, for a good while there, it looked like those two were like lockstep, hand in hand, pinky and pinky, like they were together. And I was a little bit worried about that, because I love a good three-way dynamic where there are three separate groups working together, or three separate groups doing their own thing, and they all come together and fight. I don't know. I love me a good three-way battle. Fire Emblem Three Houses, literally my favorite Fire Emblem game. I haven't played all the Fire Emblem games, so that's more claim. And then again, I really like Awakening. That's because Awakening was my first game, because I am because I ran into an actual Fire Emblem fan, and I was like, oh yeah, my first game was Awakening. It's probably still my favorite. They looked at me like, you're not a real Fire Emblem fan, and you're absolutely right. I haven't played all the games. I'm not. But would it be the case? They didn't mean it meanly, though. Don't worry. I know them still. And they'd be like, and I think they actually do watch some of the reviews sometimes. I don't know if they watch the Kagurabachi reviews. No, don't worry. I didn't take it meanly. I know you were joking. But, it's true. It is true. I know a lot of Fire Emblem fans who do genuinely believe if you don't play all the games and your first game is Awakening, you're a bum. Hi, I'm a bum. But I actually do feel that a little bit. But let's see. All that being the case, with this desync, we get the three-way dynamic again. Right? But what this also does, it confirms that the Ishaku wants to slaughter the Sword Saint so they can get full control instead of just temporary control. What it also does is really make me believe that it's still going to fail. I think the Sword Saint is still going to interfere. Whether it be immediately, because obviously Yura's undergoing the same thing that Sazanami is. He's going to essentially go band for band in terms of willpower with the Sword Saint. I think the Sword Saint won't win, but the Sword Saint will move, right? The Sword Saint already stood up a few chapters ago. So they're probably going to leave their area and then work their way. Essentially, it's going to be a race to the Shinuchi. I'm assuming somehow, some way, it's going to be up to Ura and Natsuki to stall. So Yura doesn't get to the Shinuchi. Well, at the same time, the Sword Saint is just going to be booking it. Like, okay, this guy's fighting way too hard. I'm not going to waste time. I can sense it. He probably feels a tear, right? They're so close to each other. That's why I thought, and you know what? That also answers that. I was wondering, why are the Sword Saint and the Shinuchi so close to each other? Why would they not take it to a black site? Why would they keep them so close? Not only do you get like the genuine before you know the twist convenience reveal or logic of like, well, it's their headquarters, it's a strong supposed to reinforce spot. You don't want to build up a whole new place just to hold one thing, and or it just wouldn't be feasible to do it in the time allotted, right? They did that previously with Kunishige. Look at how well that worked out. But in this case, we now know why they were so close, kind of, sort of, because the Shinuchi has ties to the Ishaku and to the leader of the Kamunabi. And maybe the leader of the Kamunabi has certain feelings that we still don't know. We still don't know why they're working with the Ishaku, and maybe the leader of the Kamunabi, Kasen, is in multiple pockets, has their hands in multiple pies, but we'll see. It would be useless to wield if we could be instantly hijacked. And what we learned was the wielder needs an astronomical amount of mental fortitude on par with Kyoto Sazanami to battle with it, even if for just a moment. It's paramount to self-harm. We knew this. We know this. But Kyoto Sazanami also proved it's worth attempting with a level of unparalleled determination. Ah, okay. So Yura has unparalleled determination to get the Shinuchi. So he's ready and willing to go band for band. And he believes he's going to make it through, right? Because ultimately he says he's not going to die today. He's going to reach like an apex. But ultimately, I think he's going to fail. Do I think Yura's going to die at the end of the cycle? I don't think so. But I think with the Sword Saint now being fully established as their own independent party, I don't think they're going to part from their weapons so easily. I think we will get a triple team scenario where it's going to be Chihiro and squad, whether that included an alive Samura and a live Uruha, a live Natsuki, all that. And like essentially the good Kamunabi members, plus the Masumi and all that, and Iori. We're going to get that group. We're going to get the Ishaku, whether they take any lose any people here or not. We're going to get the Ishaku as a separate group, who now have a link into the Shinuchi, and then we're going to have the Sword Saint themselves, who's going to get their blade back. Right? Right? Like they kind of have to at this point. Let's see. But Kyoto with an unparalleled level of determination. He senses it. He's like, oh, someone's using my thing. Someone's using my sword. It's time to give them back shots. Malediction. That's the thing. I want to give the Sword Saint like this deep, almost corrupted voice, but I can't like do it on good basis. Especially since Yora's voice is already so low. Malediction. Alright. Interesting though. So he immediately goes, so he was really mad. I mean, obviously he did a similar thing to Kyoto, but Kyoto at least at first didn't immediately get overwhelmed or immediately get hit with malediction, right? He got at least to experience the weight a little bit before the flowers started growing out of him. The very second the Sword Saint senses somebody's attempting to use their weapon wealth in such close proximity, he immediately goes for the ult. He round start like the essentially think of it like this. The Sword Saint's been building meter this entire time. They had to build enough meter to use their ult last time, which was the malediction, which they did. And then once again, they build up enough ult over time, or build up enough meter over time to instantly spam ult on whoever's trying to wield the Shinuchi right now. Because once again, unless the Sword Saint has some sort of knowledge of the people he's connecting to, which he may, because they mentioned the whole idea that the Sword Saint can't connect, he doesn't know. He's probably just like, who's this Yura guy? Why does he have my sword? Why is he trying to use my sword ability? It's not me. Come here. And he's gonna just eat him. Let's see. I told you, this is a battle to the death. Yeah, so he's already being overtaken by the vines and stuff like that. And we still haven't gotten to see his original base sorcery. As he'll point out, the teleportation sorcery could either be Toto or just a general teleportation spell. The trees that he used against Shiro when he was first introduced are also just Hatshaku's ability. So like we still do not know Yura's base sorcery. Unless it's just like enhanced physical stats. I feel like we still haven't known. We don't know enough about him. Let's see. This is a battle to the death. Look at the aura. Oh, look at the it's overflowing. It's overflowing with this power. It's over. Oh, it's wraps. Oh, it's a wrap. Guess who's back? Back. Tell them right. Guess who's back? 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 I'm sorry, Big Yura. This should have been your end of chapter thing, dog. I should have been hyped for you. I should have been thinking of a password for you. But I already have a password. I already have a password right now. And it's based on this last panel. What are those? Those are black feathers. What bird has black feathers? A couple, like ostrich just have black feathers. But a crow, oh my, oh me, oh my. Well, Galaxy will butter my behind and call me a biscuit. It's about to get lit. Woo! I'm excited. Wait, we're gonna get yo. When I tell you this battle about to be, we're gonna get Samura, Uraha. Yo, let me just name all the crazy characters involved in this. We're gonna get Samura, Uraha, Chihiro, Iori, Yura, Natsuki, Hokuto. The rest of these, like, there's literally too many characters to name. And the Sword Ten. You know the Sword Ten is about to get active. They're gonna start. It's over, dog. This gonna. Yo, Kagurabachi. What chapter is this? Chapter 94. The first 100 chapter run of Kagurabachi may just go down as one of the greatest ever. if this is truly like I said, I've compared this arc so far to like essentially 2 Shibuya. This may, like, depending on how this goes, this may just surpass Shibuya, dog. Like, at least first 100 chapters for 100 chapters, I have to give it to Kagurabachi. Like, this is literally the only thing that's currently running comp with this right now, and it really depends on how the back half of their 50 chapters go, is Ichi the Witch, in terms of, like, New Gen for having the first crazy banger 100 chapters. So, overall, legend. And I think the thing I like, though, the one complaint I have, which is just a victim of Kagurabachi's fast pacing. I don't know Kasen. I don't care about Kasen. Whatever. He's a traitor. Cool. It facilitates an interesting thing. That's my one complaint. But the reason I'm able to override that complaint is because I'm still interested enough to learn why he did it. I do want to know. The world has done such a good job of building characters. Hokuto Sensei has done such a good job of building characters that even though I don't know Kasen from a can of paint, other than the fact that he has balls on his face, I still am interested enough and I care enough to want to know. Like, I do want to know, why is he doing this? Why did he betray? What does this mean for the, not just the narrative, obviously, it means very, very bad things for the narrative. Whole people are gonna get back shots. But, like, what does it mean in the general sense of, like, how is this going to go now? Who will be affected by this? Or no, why did he do it? Why would he choose this path? And then, obviously, the rest of the chapters is gas, right? And notably, this explanation we get at the start is just a extrapolation on things we've seen before. An explanation for those who couldn't put together, such as your boy. So I think the explanation, building up to it, and the reveal, all of it works very, very well. And now I'm just super duper excited to see where it's going to go. So this is how you do it. This is how you do manga, bro. This is how you do ball. And it's clear that Hokuzono Sensei knows ball. But if you've only seen this video, please leave the Crow Cause. The Crow Cause. Cause as in C-A-W-S. Because get it? Because it's calling. Because it's complicated. The friends and the bottle chocolate. Believe the Crow Cause. In the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching. Please leave a like, share, comment, and subscribe. Make sure that notification bell so you don't miss out on any music come to the channel. Also, so you can have a Patreon below, use word me for Zoas one in a month. I want these exclusive videos, early content, and more. As then I become a member of the channel for Zoas Studios month to get the same perks and more. So those perks include the live reactions of this series I am to review, and variations of all my videos, and if you become a $12 Patreon or a $12 member, you can order whatever video you want. Also a link to my co-fans in below. You drop 5 views in a short video, don't have a small video or any beats at all. Any support is always greatly appreciated. Now I'd like to thank you so much for watching. Once again, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is That Guy with a Pencil, writing off. I'd like to give a thank you to our sketch tier members: Eternal Flame, Red Wolf 4765, Astro, Glacier XZ, Zera, Brandon Payne, J2MA, Guillaume, Buddha Ura, Alex Kenny, Enzo, Swift Strike, Autumn Mornings Lazo, Super Flame Zero, Yuki Ally, Azo2404, and G Prosper. And I'd like to give a thank you to our line art tier patrons: Victor Raji, Sean, Midnight Lord 21, Kevin Encarnacion, Dreads Owen, and A+A. I'd like to give a big old thank you to our Ink tier members: Austin Wimberly, Euchia, and Shrimpo the Shrimp. And I'd like to give a thank you to our digital art tier members: Jay Warrior and AZ Void. And I'd like to give a final thank you to our colored art tier patrons: Waki Munoz and Waki Munoz.